A Town Hall 3 reached Champions League and shared his secrets with me. Let's explain the attack strategies which helped him become the highest ranked player in the world. LtNull, a subscriber of the channel and veteran in the low Town Hall trophy pushing scene, recently broke the record at Town Hall 3. When we first started discussing this video, I typed in his player tag. He was already in Champions League, but wanted to push that trophy count as high as he could. Let's see what he manages to reach. Throughout this trophy push, he shared replays with me and explained how the attack strategies work. He always uses this exact same composition, but varies the approach depending on the Town Hall level of the player he's going up against. For Town Hall 3, he said it's an easy 3-star. You lure the defending troops, make sure to take those out with your baby dragon, take down the archer tower ASAP, and then the baby dragon can finish off the rest of the base. I want to get into the nitty-gritty of the strategies, defense as well, and he even gave 3 pro tips which I'll go into at the end. Using this same army composition, if he came up against Town Hall 4s, which he certainly did, and even higher levels as he moved up through the leagues, 3 stars were still possible as long as you could take down the defending clan castle troops, tank them using your 2 giants, and then take the air defense down, either getting the baby dragon onto it quickly or using your archers to take that out so that the baby dragon could take the rest of the base. When going up against Town Hall 5 players or above, he adjusted the strategy completely because 3 stars are completely out of the window. You just don't have the firepower with Town Hall 3 troops. So you actually do the opposite of what you would do at Town Hall 3 and 4. Now, depending on the clan castle position, you would still have to lure the clan castle troops, use your giants to tank, and your archers to surround and take those down. However, your baby dragon, you would use to the opposite side of the air defense or any archer towers, wherever you could get the most value with the baby dragon without actually taking damage. Because against a Town Hall 5 and above, you have to assure you can either get the Town Hall for a 1-star or the 50%. Clearly, it's nice to get both of them and the 2-star, but you don't always get that luxury. The other important thing is using the archers, that's why you have so many of them, to pick off the non-defensive buildings where you're out of range. It's important to note that at Town Hall 3, because you don't have as many troops, the 3 minutes gives you a little bit more flexibility. So this is leading into one of the pro tips he gave later in terms of taking your time. Sometimes I've seen him wait until there was only 20 seconds left before spamming the rest of the troops in towards the Town Hall to just about secure that 2-star. Before I get into the defensive strategy, because personally I actually find that the most interesting, I do want to acknowledge how long this took LtNull. He would play for 17 to 19 hours per day. Now, that is not actively sitting looking at the game. That is just allowing the clouds to go until you find a base. Make sure you have the game sound on so that when you do find a base, you can hear the and then you can look at your device, see whether it's worth attacking, press next if not, and wait in the clouds for another hour or 2 potentially. No joke. When we first started working on this video as well, he'd been trophy pushing for 4 months already. So this is not a short-term thing. If you want to give this a try, you will have to stick with it for the long run. He said it's around about 1,800 trophies that this starts to become a problem, which, by the way, he actually said was the hardest thing because you have to be active in the game during that time because you're finding more bases. Once you get past that, you can do other things naturally as you're sitting in the clouds waiting, because Clash of Clans tries to match you with someone of equal Town Hall level at that trophy range before gradually expanding, and obviously there's less and less people at that level, so that's why it takes longer and longer in the clouds. But it can be a bit random, he said. Sometimes you might find 2 bases within 1 hour, other times 0 bases within 3 days. Yikes. That's why I cannot do these trophy pushes, but I do admire the commitment, and it's why I like to showcase stories like this on the channel. Transitioning into the defensive side of things in a way in line with what I just said, he also mentioned mentioned that you can only really do top level trophy pushes if a big group of people, the trophy pushing scene in itself, all goes on a bit of a push together, because then you're finding more bases in order to attack. Some people end up taking the hit, dropping out of the trophy race, if you will, but everyone else can gain a few trophies from that player. A rising tide raises all boats, if you will. But in terms of defenses specifically, a Town Hall 3 in Champions League, you're going to get 3-starred every time, right? Introducing shield management. Every time you purchase a shield, whether it's 1 day, 2 days, or 7, there is a cooldown with that. So you try and stack up your shields in order to use them all at once, particularly at the end of the trophy push, but also when someone attacks you, that's when you might also get a shield. Somebody has to use 30% of their army. If they do not, then you don't get any shield, which obviously in LtNull's situation is not a good thing. So what tends to happen is as you're getting close to your record, you make sure that you've stacked up all of those shields and then you attack through them to constantly push up your trophies. If you have a good defense, meaning that the other player doesn't win, a lot of the time he would actually gain 0 trophies because the Town Hall 3 player that found him was so far down that he didn't actually gain any. But that's still a good thing, because if he can get a shield from that, it means he can then attack and gain more trophies. But let's first go over his 3 pro tips, which might seem straightforward, but they are absolutely necessary if you choose to do a trophy push like this. Number 1, do not rush. Now, I don't mean that in the sense of like, do not rush your base, just don't rush your attacks. Don't rush into an attack. You want to assure that you will win before you start attacking. You have to get at least 1 star, because if you lose and lose a bunch of trophies, that can be worse than taking a defense. Snipe off those buildings with the archers. Make sure you get as much percentage possible. Don't just blast all of your troops in, realize you've got 1.5 minutes left in the attack time that you could have utilized, and you don't get that 50%. Pro tip number 2, set yourself trophy objectives. So what that means is you might find a base straight away within 1 minute of searching, and it might give you plus 3 trophies. If you attack that and you have to wait 15 minutes of your army cooking up in the background, maybe you'd have been better off continuing to next until you found a base that offers you 10 to 15 trophies, because that's something you have to think about. If you're not gemming your army in the background, you have to manage your time effectively. Pro tip number 3 is with regards to the clan castle troops. So he utilizes the barbarians and the giants in the army composition to lure the clan castle with the barbarians and then tank them with the giants. You then use your baby dragon or archers to take down the defending troops, and you would do this from where you are going to enter the base. Town Hall 3 and 4 at the air defense or archer tower, Town Hall 5 the opposite side of the base. But his final trophy count, 3,355 trophies. Huge congrats and thank you to LtNull for sharing his story with us. If you want to see our 1v1 when I returned to Town Hall 3 prior to this video, by the way, I didn't know his strategy, it is linked on your screen. Enjoy the rest of your day.